What's up, guys? So welcome to my second video. So yesterday, me and a friend of mine, who's also my editor, went to KI yesterday, which is Kings Island, and we got to ride 6 total rides. The rides being the Bat, the Racer, Mystic Timbers, Diamondback, Orion, and Banshee. So today, we are going to be ranking those 6 rides that we got yesterday from worst to best. So let's get it. So at number 6, dead last, we have the Racer. So the Racer is built by PTC. PTC stands for Philadelphia Toboggan Coasters, and I believe that there's actually another PTC coaster in the park, this ride being Woodstock Express. The Racer, one of the sides actually used to go backwards, this side being the blue side, but Kings Island ultimately reversed that, so it made it go forward with the red side. There's some decent airtime moments on the Racer, these being the first 2 hills after that first drop, but I feel like the Racer is just a basic, mediocre layout with not that much to offer. It's still a classic ride because it was the first roller coaster to be built at KI, Kings Island. So there's not really much other things to say about this ride. The Racer is a very good starter ride if you're just getting into coasters, so I recommend that. It really help you get more into coasters, yeah. Okay, let's go on to number 5. So my number 5 coaster that we read is the Bat. So the Bat is an aerodynamics suspended coaster. There's actually a few more left in the world now, so the Bat is a very rare coaster of its type, but Aerodynamics does not make coasters anymore. They went out of business all the way back in 2002. So it's been out of business for a really long time now. The Bat, it's a basic layout just like the Racer, but there's really one thing that I love about this ride, and it's the feeling that you're flying through the trees. You really feel like the Bat, just like its name. The Bat, I really love the sense of speed you get. You really feel like you're going really fast through the trees, and I just love how, depending on how you turn, the cart will move how it turns as well. There's also a really bad thing about this ride in that it's the walk to it. The Bat is located in the very, very, very back of the park. So to get to it, it takes quite a bit of walking. If you're not the walking type, then the Bat is definitely not for you. But just like the Racer, the Bat is a good starting ride if you're just getting into coasters, and I feel like you would like it. And I also recommend the front row. The front row is the best. It's amazing. But let's get on to number 4. At number 4, we have Banshee. Before we get into the coaster review or anything about Banshee, let's just get into the backstory. So where Banshee was, there was Son of Beast. And Son of Beast was everything you would want on a coaster. It was fast, it was long, it was tall. But the problem with it, it was always needed for maintenance, it was always closed. It even got to the point where people were even getting injured on it. They were getting taken to the hospital. And Kings Island just ultimately decided that they didn't want this happening anymore, so they decided to tear it down. So there they were, thinking, what could we replace this ride with? What could be Son of Beast's replacement? That's where they came up with the name Banshee. So Banshee is the longest inverted coaster in the world, and Banshee is manufactured by B&M. B&M stands for Bolger Mabyard. So yeah, like I said, Banshee is the longest inverted coaster in the world. But the reason why it's stopping me from putting this higher is because 2 things. Number 1 is the restraints. I've been saying this for a really long time now. B&M, when they were building this, they should have just used a classic over-the-shoulder restraints. Instead, they said, nope, we're going to use restraints that press down on you so hard to the point where you can even barely breathe. And that's what they did. It really just takes away from the whole ride experience. And now you got the B&M Ratto. The B&M Ratto also takes it away. Sometimes it gets to the point where it's so bad that you're actually wanting to get off the ride, that you kind of regret going on this ride. And there's a lot of problems with B&M coasters these days, and yeah, it's the B&M Ratto. It's just horrible. So let's go on to number 3. At number 3, we have Diamondback. So Diamondback is a B&M hypercoaster, and if you don't know what a hypercoaster is, it's a coaster that focuses rather on airtime than speed or intensity. But first, I just want to get into the splashdown finale. The That splashdown finale is amazing. You can't really find that much other splashdown finales in the world. You can find one on Shakira at Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay, but I don't really know any other splashdowns. So if you guys know one, drop it down into the comments below. But there's also two things that are keeping me from putting this higher on my list. The first one being the infamous B&M rattle, the second one being the pacing. But first, let's get into the B&M rattle. The B&M rattle isn't really that bad on this ride, but once after the hammerhead turnaround, once you dive into that crevice, you can really feel it. It shakes you, it shakes the train, and it also feels like it also shakes the track. So I absolutely hate rattles on the ride. I just want it to be glossy smooth. But now let's get into the pacing. So the pacing just really feels like it dies down over the layout. So once you go after that hammerhead turnaround, it just feels like a couple of hills, and that's it. And the hills themselves don't really feel like they just give that much airtime. Maybe you can feel a little like weightlessness, but other than that, they just don't really give that much airtime. Those are the two things that are keeping me from putting them higher on my list. But I also love that first drop. That first drop is definitely one of the most intense drops in the park, because once you're in the back row, you can really feel that pull, because B&M, when every B&M hyper has staggered seating, I think. And staggered seating is something where the front row goes two right next to each other, and then the row behind goes two spaced out from each other, etc. And this type of seating makes the train longer, so it really feels like you get pulled over that first drop faster. But now, let's get into my top two coasters in the park. My number 2 coaster in the park is Mystic Timbers. Yes, Mystic Timbers. But before I get into all this review about Mystic Timbers and everything, I just want to say something. So every single time I visit a park, there's like a 90% chance that my top 3 coasters will change every single time. And that just happens with me a lot. I don't know about you guys, but that just happens to me a lot. But now let's get into the actual ride review. So Mystic Timbers is everything you want in a coaster. It's fast, it's snappy, it has great ejector pops of airtime, but I just feel like the ride itself now is too short, and I feel like the elements are too repetitive. I feel like that's what you could say, repetitive. But Mystic Timbers is an absolutely elite ride. I mean, if you're an airtime lover like me, you'll absolutely adore this ride. And I actually used to not like Mystic Timbers, but now I got a few re-rides on it, and now I absolutely love it. And people say that the shed is overhyped, but I think the shed is absolutely amazing. The theming is great, and you don't really find that much theming at KI, Kings Island, but for the shed, you do. Now let's get into my number 1 coaster at the park. My number 1 coaster at the park is, drum roll please, Orion. So Orion is a B&M Giga Coaster, and if you don't know what a B&M Giga Coaster is, it's a coaster that stands at 300 feet or taller. But the thing about Orion is, yes, it's 300 feet, but it has a 287-foot drop. So people say that Orion is actually not a Giga Coaster, it's a Hyper Coaster. I think it's a Giga Coaster, but if you guys have any other opinions, drop it down in the comments below. There's a few things I love about this ride. The theming, the drop, and the airtime. Let's get into the theming first. So when Cedar Fair owned Kings Island, but now it's Six Flags, I guess they're kind of working together now, I don't know. But when Cedar Fair owned the park alone, they don't really use that much theming, and they put a ton of theming into Orion. They absolutely cooked with the theming. I mean, you can easily tell once you walk into Area 72 what the theme is to Orion, because it's that good. I think this is the best theming in the park. The second best theming is probably Flight of Fear, the ride directly next to Orion. But let's get into the drop now. So the drop is actually steeper than other B&M Gigas like Fury 325 at Carowinds and Leviathan at Canada's Wonderland. And this drop is gonna feel a lot more intense. The airtime is immaculate. If you sit in the back row, you're gonna feel like you're gonna get pulled over really fast, and then the airtime feels like it lasts forever. it has some really good sustained airtime. You could kind of say sustained ejector, but now let's get into my favorite element of the ride. My favorite element of this ride being the wave turn at the very end into the brake run. This wave turn is just pure ejector. I mean, when I say it, pure ejector airtime. And I love ejector airtime. It's my favorite type of airtime. And just having ejector airtime on Orion is really special to me. So those are my top 6 coasters at the park that me and my friend experienced. So if you guys have any video suggestions for next time, feel free to ask. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.